Hi everybody! Welcome to today's show. I feel like it's really a child. I like this. No, today I just wanted to show you quickly a few salad dressing recipes because now that the weather is getting kind of sort of warmer, like you can kind of smell like spring is in the air here in southern France. I feel like eating more salads and I want to change from the usual thing. And I just think, like, I know that I have a few that I use regularly, like the olive oil vinegar kind of mixture, and that's fine. But sometimes I have some that I use to just spruce things up and to make salads more exciting. Because sometimes you don't have much in the fridge. Like right now, I don't have much in the fridge. So what's gonna be a game changer is the salad dressing in the salad. It's not the veggies themselves necessarily, you know? So let me start, okay? First one is one you may have seen me make before, or you've certainly seen it on Instagram because I posted it in my story yesterday, okay? And this is one of my, like, I think it's like my husband and I, it's our favorite salad dressing recipe. So let me explain. So I take herbs. You know I love herbs. I'm like an herb person. So I'll take whatever herbs I've got, and this is a good time to use those herbs that have been lying in the fridge for a little while, and you know, they're not as bright green and beautiful as they once were, but they're still good. What I do is I clean them really well, and then I chop them all up. So here I've got some dill. I've also got some parsley. I've got a tiny bit of coriander. And actually, if I look hard in the fridge, I also have mint. So what I do is, I'm gonna go get the mint because it does make a little difference to this dressing. So what I do is I chop these herbs quite finely. Depending on the herbs you're using, you could just put it in like this kind of, you know, chopper blender. But I just, I'm gonna use this for something else later, so I'm just gonna keep it clean for now. So I chop these herbs. Now I love dill. Not everybody does, and you may not always find dill, or you may not always be in the mood for dill. But I don't know. With this like warmer weather, I feel like dill is one of these spring herbs in my mind because it's now you know my dad is from Iran. And in Iran, spring is in, I mean, obviously spring is in March, but their New Year is on the first day of spring. And one of the typical kind of dishes that people make, Iranians make on that first day of spring is this dill dish with like rice and fish and everything. And so dill always reminds me of that kind of springtime moment, because that's the only time we ever bought dill, really, is that right around that time where my mom used to like make that rice. Yeah, so I like dill, but you don't need to put it. You could put coriander, parsley, the usual suspects. You could put tarragon. Tarragon's really good with this as well. And know that if you do put dill, it's going to be very overpowering, okay? So if you don't like it, then put something else. So there you have it. I put the dill. Let me just add a little bit of mint, because I washed some yesterday. Now mint, as you know, if you watched my my salsa verde recipe the other day, I think it's on YouTube. Mint is one of those ones you never want to put in a mixer like this because it'll just become black, right? So now that this is all beautiful and chopped, I'm just gonna put it in a little bowl for now. And meanwhile, I'm going to make my mustard olive oil emulsion, okay? Now, most of you who are like used to cooking and stuff, you probably know this, and this is no great big secret. But those of you who are not used to spending so much time in the kitchen, this is like the easiest and coolest salad dressing base, in my opinion. Even like with the kids, it's a good one to play with because it shows you kind of a bit of chemistry, you know, behind behind cooking. So you're gonna take some Dijon mustard. I take maille. It's like this. It's a Dijon mustard, but that's not like a super hot Dijon mustard. It's kind of a classic, the original Dijon mustard. So I take, you know, maybe 2 tablespoons of it, and I put it in there. That's why I don't want something that's like extra hot, right? So let me just show you. You see this? It's in here. And then what I do is I put olive oil, and what I do, and this is where I get my kids involved sometimes, I'll ask one to pour the olive oil as I mix. And as you mix, now you see, I do need an extra camera somewhere to be showing you guys everything. You see how here, it's like it gets separated, right? And as you mix it, you're like, oh no, it's separating, it's not pretty. No, you can't see my face now, but when you mix it and add this oil really slowly, it does mix really nicely, kind of like a mayonnaise. It becomes like a mayonnaise, and it's just mustard and oil. And after all, mayonnaise is oil, mustard, and like egg yolk and stuff, but it looks like a mayonnaise. And I put a bit of oil at a time. In all, for about like 2 tablespoons, like 2 big tablespoons of mustard, I'll put like half a cup of oil. Okay, maybe a bit less. But you could put like a third or a half, and it doesn't really make a huge difference. You know, you're not going to screw it up if you put a bit too much oil. It's just that the taste of the mustard will be more or less strong. Okay, so let me add a little bit more, and you're going to see how beautiful and emulsified this is, like a proper mayo, right? So you see here, you see that? How smooth it is? It's like really smooth. So then what I do is once I've done that, I will put my herbs, which are here, and I'll put them in here. See, I have quite a bit. Put maybe half my herbs in there. Put some pepper. Okay, peppermill, fresh pepper. Always do fresh pepper, so much better than the powdered stuff. And then I just mix it all up, and you get this like awesome, creamy, delicious thing, right? So this is a recipe I do often, okay? When I'm making a salad dressing and I want something that has like oomph and taste, and it's a bit creamy, but don't worry, it's not gonna be mayonnaise-y or like that kind of creamy. It's just gonna be like, you know, velvety, okay? And it's not gonna be like that oil vinegar thing. Now, if you wanted to add a bit of zing, you could add like a touch of red wine vinegar or apple cider vinegar, but you don't want too much, okay? Just a touch. And that's it. And I don't put salt because there's enough salt in mustard. It's already salty. It's already got enough taste. You don't need more salt. And this will dress up any salad, but it's particularly nice to put in a warm potato salad, for example. You know, you peel potatoes, steam potatoes, let them cool so they're lukewarm, and then you mix this. It's like a nice potato salad. Or, and this is what I'm going to show you really quickly, is where are my chickpeas? I had chickpeas. There they are. I've got a can of chickpeas, okay? Because this one is a good one for like, I'm too lazy to prepare much, so I take a can of chickpeas and then I just put them in here, and then I put this dressing on it, okay? This is awesome, okay? Like, this makes the best chickpea salad, and it could be, you can eat it like just, you know, as is, if you're having this with a little side of whatever, like greens or something, because it's like it has, you know, a good amount of protein and fiber. I mean, you can put it in a wrap if you wanted to. Look at this. It's like so pretty. It's so delicious. It smells so good. It's amazing. Like, it's a really easy to make salad, and this dressing is just wonderful. Okay, so that's dressing number one. Dressing number two, let me get these herbs out of the way. Dressing number two is one, I don't think I've ever showed it anywhere, but I do make it from time to time. You know why? I probably have never showed it in the past few years on Instagram or anything, is because I didn't make it a lot in Dubai because you need poppy seeds. It's a poppy seed orange dressing, okay? Now in Dubai, for some reason, I'm just taking the juice of an orange, okay? In Dubai, for some reason, poppy seeds, like, I don't know, I couldn't find them very often. So when I'd go to Canada or Europe, I'd buy poppy seeds and bring them back and do it that way. So I've got orange juice in here. So I've got about the juice of an orange. It should give you like a quarter cup, I would say. Like you need a quarter cup, okay? So a quarter cup of this. Then I put a quarter cup of olive oil, okay? You need to put the same amount, right? And then I put my poppy seeds. So I just put a few teaspoons, you know? You could put more or less. And then I take a tiny bit of tomato paste, okay? So you've got, see this beautiful orange juice, olive oil, so it's half, 2 teaspoons of poppy seeds, and then this tomato paste, and you mix it all really well. And then I'm gonna add a pinch of salt. You could put in a clove of minced garlic in here, and that would be nice too. I'm not into raw garlic, so you will never see me do that. But the taste can be nice for those of you who are into raw garlic, okay? And here I will put some salt because there is none, right? So there you have it. This is a nice dressing because it's different. Nobody ever, like, you don't often see orange dressings or citrusy dressings that aren't lemon. And poppy seed goes really well. It gives a little crunch. And poppy seeds are good for you. It's one of these seeds, nobody talks about it, right? Like, except for lemon poppy seed cakes and muffins. People don't, I don't know, people don't talk about it like they do all these other seeds these days, but poppy seeds are actually quite healthy. They're good for you, like a lot of seeds, you know? They've got fiber, they've got all these trace minerals. So I often sprinkle them on my oats as well, or on my yogurt, or smoothies, and they're really nice. The only thing is, if you do buy poppy seed, you'll notice that poppy seeds have, like, if you look very quickly at these two things, right? They're kind of similar if you look at them quickly. One is poppy seed and the other one is chia. So don't get them mixed up. Otherwise your dressing is going to be all goopy and slimy. And if you put the poppy seed in the chia pudding, it's never going to become pudding. So that's dressing number 2. The reason I would, how I would use this one is because it's very flavorful. You could also add some vinegar if you wanted to. And the vinegar I would add is like maybe a sherry vinegar, or like a really nice wine vinegar, like an aged one. You could put apple cider vinegar as well, and it kind of makes it like it cuts the olive oil a little bit, you know, because olive oil is quite heavy, you know, as a taste. So you could add vinegar if you wanted to. You don't have to. So that's number 2. Number 3 is one that I'm making actually for tonight. And it is one that you can play around with. There's like a million variations of it. It's really delicious, and it really transforms whatever you're gonna be eating as a salad. So tonight I'm making soba noodles. These are soba noodles. They're these Japanese buckwheat noodles, and they're actually not 100% buckwheat. Most of the time when you find them, you're gonna see in the ingredients that it's half buckwheat and half wheat flour, or like there's a mixture of, which it's fine. I mean, like, I'm not like super strict with gluten anymore, but I'm just mindful of it. And anyways, buckwheat is often mixed with other types of flours to kind of, get the right texture. Even in my crepes, remember I made buckwheat crepes the other day, and I mixed it with spelt flour because it gives it a better texture to make crepes. Anyway, beside the point, buckwheat noodles. So what I do is I do it as package directions, you know, in boiling water and whatever. It's like 7 minutes or something. And then I let them cool, and on the side, I will blanch broccoli and how do you call those? Snap peas. You know, the flat beans, like the flat green beans, the snap peas or snow peas. I think it's snow peas. Anyways, and blanch them, drain them, mix them with the soba noodles, and then I use this dressing. It's this spicy peanut dressing. So I will use my little blender for this. Why? Because I'm using some ginger, and ginger is very fibrous and stuff. So I prefer to not cut it by hand and get it blended. So I'll put about, like, you know, as often I use like a thumb size piece of ginger. So I put that. I will put some sesame oil. So this is my sesame oil that I use. It's like a virgin sesame oil, so it's not as dark, which is I think is a bit healthier. And I'll put about 2 tablespoons or 1 tablespoon of sesame oil. Now, because it's not dark, it's not as strong. So you can do with the 2 tablespoons and it'll be fine and not overpower anything. Maybe if you've got a dark one, use a little bit less. Then I will put the juice of half a lime, okay? So this is the juice of 1 lime. I'll just use half a lime. The rest I will just mix in water and, you know, drink before dinner as a little tonic. So you've got the lemon juice, you've got the ginger, you've got the sesame oil, rice vinegar, okay? This I'm gonna put a teaspoon, you know, maybe 2 teaspoons. And then I have this natural kind of peanut butter. So I'm gonna put a bit more of that. Now this is a kind of, it's not homemade, but it is made without any added sugar, or I don't even know if there's salt in here. So this I will put roughly a 1/4 cup, okay? All right, so I'll put it in here. I mean, obviously you can double this recipe, right, guys? You don't have to like stay with my proportions. And there's a few more ingredients that go in here. Yeah, put a little bit more. But if I'm making soba noodles for 2, this is what I'm gonna be doing. Now, if you want to spice this up, you can put like a little chili pepper, like one of those, you know, Asian chili peppers, like either the red ones or the green ones. I would use the red one for this, the little, you know, bird chili peppers. I don't have any, and I don't usually buy them because they're not usually in my pantry. Like all this other stuff is always in my pantry. I should create that for you guys, a list of like what you need to have if you want to like always be Asian cooking ready, like the stuff in the pantry you need. But chili peppers is not one of them because it's like I'll never eat them. Like I have them once in a while, and my husband has once in a while, but otherwise the rest stay left over and we end up wasting them. So I get this these chili peppers that have been marinated in like olive oil and a bit of salt and stuff. So I will put, you know, a little bit of that. Maybe kind of a 1/4 teaspoon, because it's very spicy, this one, but any kind of hot chili will do, and you spice it up as much as or as little as you want. You don't need to put this at all. And then I put tamari sauce. Tamari sauce, I'm gonna put 2 tablespoons. Tamari is like this gluten-free soy sauce, okay? Let's just call it that, okay? So I blend this. Okay, now this, it becomes super creamy. Look at this. I'm gonna put it, where can I put it so you can see in a glass? Okay, you see that? Becomes super creamy. If you want, and this is where you need to taste and test and see if you like the taste of it, or if you find it too peanutty. Like here, I'm smelling it and I can smell that I feel like it needs maybe a bit more soy sauce or maybe a little bit more vinegar, you know, but you might want to taste it, test it, and adjust as you see fit, okay? And play around with it, because if you, oh, also the other thing is if you find this too creamy for your taste, add a little bit of water. And I mean like half of this, you know, so you add like a tablespoon of water, 2 tablespoons of water, and it becomes less creamy, you know, because now it's like pretty thick. You see, it's like pretty thick. But if you want to get it a bit thinner, you could blend it for longer. You can put water in it. If you don't want it to be crunchy at all and have like it does not have this chunky texture at all, use the Vitamix. Use a high-speed blender, or blend this for a little bit longer. And yeah, and so I put that in my warm, like lukewarm soba noodles with the crunchy kind of just blanched vegetables that were just barely cooked. And yeah, and that's like a really nice meal. And you can add like maybe sauteed tofu to it if you're a vegetarian or vegan, but you can also have it as a side, or put like grilled prawns or chicken or something like that to make a really nice, easy salad. And then a nice thing to add here are some toasted sesame seeds. So you see, salad dressing can really, I mean, dress things up, right? This is also really good if you're making a slaw. So remember the winter slaw that I did last week where I shredded some cabbage and carrots and fennel and all sorts of things? You can totally use this as a dressing for it. I think I may have even mentioned it, but in it, no, last time I think I didn't put any peanut butter in the dressing. But you can totally use this dressing for the slaw. And yeah, so you see these dressings, they really brighten up a salad, and you can have a salad that can be very plain and it changes the flavor completely to have a dressing like this. And it's really nice. It's original. And I think it's good to like do something different sometimes. And you see how easy it was, right? It's like no brainer, super simple. And granted, you may not have all of this in your pantry all the time, but, you know, I suggest like if you're, you know, wanting to cook a bit more and take care of your, you know, nourishing yourself a little bit more and testing stuff out in the kitchen a bit more, there are things that I think you should get and you should have in your pantry, like Tamari sauce. It's like that, you know, kind of better version of soy sauce. Rice wine vinegar, sesame oil, you know, just take little bottles if you think you're not going to use a lot. And always keep them in your pantry, because you'll find like, and the more you use these things, the more you know how to use them, the more you use them, and they get used up. They don't just sit there and collect dust. And like that, you're always kind of ready to make something nice and different. Same with like stuff like poppy seeds, you know, just keep them in the pantry. You can keep them for a while. And you know, a good quality mustard, good quality oil, vinegar. I should, you know, I'm thinking as I'm doing this video, I'm thinking I will do a little guide for you guys. Maybe like what to have in your pantry to be whole foods, cooking, delicious stuff ready. That's a good idea. All right, on that note, have a wonderful day. If you do test these out, let me know. Tag me in your Instagram or your Facebook or whatever. If you want more recipe ideas, then just go on my website, wellmama.com, WELLMAMMA.com. And if you like this video, then share it. Subscribe to the channel, and if you've got questions, comments, or if you've got ideas of salad dressings that rock, then please do share them. All right, bye everyone.